I am woman phenomenally. Phenomenal woman? That's me, Maya Angelou. Welcome to this segment of the Afrocentrist podcast, The Woman, Her Story, and Her Impact, where I get to speak to women from across the globe, sharing their stories and how they are impacting their world. Coming to you every Wednesday, 4 p.m. GST. Of course, with your favorite show host, the energetic EJ. So make it a date with me every Wednesday. The Afrocentrist Podcast, proudly African. Hello and welcome to another episode on the Afrocentrist Podcast. And on this segment, The Woman, Her Story, Her Impact, where I get to speak to women from across the world, sharing their stories and how they are currently impacting their world. Of course, you know who I am. If you don't, well, this is the energetic EJ, and this is the Afrocentrist Podcast. Today on the show, I have a beautiful lady. She is Pakistani originally, but she has been born and brought up here in the UAE, and she's currently a photographer. So she tells stories with photos, right? And today we want to find out what was her story, or what is her story? What did she do before photography, and how is she currently impacting her world using photography? So sit back, relax as we dive into the story of Saman, okay? So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with my guest. Hello, Saman.
Hello, EJ.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to finally have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And guys, guess what? Let me tell you the gist behind this show right now. So, I think a couple of weeks or days ago, I was on a very random Instagram live session. I think I just finished a session and I was just feeling high. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me hang out on Instagram for a bit. And she came on the live show. And, we got talking on the live show. And I was like, hey, Saman, how are you? She's like, oh, she's fine. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, my God, I'm so bored. And I'm like, hey, you shouldn't be bored. You're a photographer. You shouldn't be bored. And then we got talking. I'm like, okay, what are you doing next week? And she's like, oh, I'm putting together an event for business owners, just, introduce each other to one another and then support each other. I'm like, hey, that's interesting. Where is it happening? And she said it's in RAC. I'm like, I've been thinking of coming to RAC. Are you willing to host me? If you do, then I can be a part of the program. And she's like, yeah, of course I can. It would be great to have you there. And I'm like, okay. And you know what? While I'm there, we can do an episode together. We can do an episode together. And she was like, yes. And right there on Instagram, we made this appointment that I was going to travel down to Ras Al Khaimah from Dubai to be a part of her program. But before the program, I'm going to have to, feature her on the show. But guess what? The addition that comes with it, I get to also have a photo shoot with her. And so you're going to see some of those photos rolling out for the rest of the year and maybe for the first quarter of 2023. So, courtesy Saman Photography. That's the backstory. Now, let us get to the real story and why we're here. Yes, so back to why we're here. We are here to hear your story and how you are currently impacting your world. So let's get to meet you. I know you by your first name, so what's your full name?
My full name is Saman Nawaz.
Okay.
As per the passports and the certificates, is actually Suman. So, but actually my name is Saman.
Saman, okay.
People call me Saman. There is Sammy, the nickname.
Sam,
Samoon, everything.
As long as it begins with an S and an A. Yeah,
Yes.
Sam.
I'm fine.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So Sam, tell us about you. Where did you grow up? I know you grew up here, but how has it been being in the UAE all your life?
So, as you've already explained, that I've been born and brought up here. So, it has been an amazing journey. Going to be 25 soon. So, the most wonderful thing in UAE is that the woman empowerment. It encourages women to bring themselves up and uplift them and start their own businesses professionally. And you have a lot of opportunities right here in the UAE where you can meet new people, encourage them, motivate them, and yeah, this is what.
All right, that's fantastic. And I love that that is the angle that you have enjoyed more
Yeah.
in the UAE. The fact that they actually support women,
Yes.
to stand up for themselves, to be business oriented, and that is really important, right?
Yes.
And in the society that we are, we know that we women, we've got the power.
Absolutely, yes.
Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, we got the power. Oh, oh, nice. Look at that.
You wanna have some Arabic shit? Or some Pakistani?
So we're having fun in the studio. Now, Saman, I know you're currently a photographer, right? But before photography, what were you doing?
So basically, I was doing a normal job, 9 to 5 or 8 to 6. So I had been working at Track Academy as a teacher assistant, and it was just for 1 month. It's just because I didn't, get involved with the environment. So I wanted something that where I can use my studies or my skills, I can utilize them. So then I had worked at the real estate and gained knowledge about the real estate industries, met new people, met the owners, investors. So it has been really a great journey, and those people, some of them are my clients now. So that's a wonderful thing. And after leaving that place due to COVID, I lost a job, and I was searching for other job. And in that scenario, those 3 months were a little hard for me to have to work, and it was very difficult to get me a job. So then I got a job at the Birmingham City University in Ras Al Khaimah, which was newly open, and I was the marketing executive over there. So even that had been really a great journey, meeting the directors, the partnerships, and advisors, counselors, registrars. So it was really an amazing journey. But I thought that this thing is not enough. Not just one thing is enough for me to have something or what I wish to achieve in my life or my goals. This is not enough. So I had this passion for photography. So I grabbed my camera and then I started off posting and taking on landscape shots or some, portrait shots, just a full Ras Al Khaimah because I didn't know anyone. So then slowly, as soon as I was posting, people started liking my photos. So it gave me, upliftment. It motivated me to do more. And then I got my first ever client.
Wow.
And they wanted to have a photo shoot of their nikah ceremony. It's the legal signing document where they are declared husband and wife. So these people, as I was new and it was my very first event, I told them it is my very first event. And in return, the response was so positive that they said, we like your photos and we are sure that you're going to take good ones. And that was the very first successful event I had. And then later on I got more events. People got to know me in Ras Al Khaimah. I started posting their reviews, gaining the clients, and the clients became my friends actually. The way I interact with them, the confidence, they like my work, and the photos which I give them, it's all the client interactions. So always the clients are my friends, and I always treat them very, very good, and I make sure that they are satisfied with my work.
Yeah, fantastic. I love it. What did you study in school again?
Yeah, I studied bachelor's, which is business of administration.
Oh, business administration.
I was actually more into a science field because I loved operations,
Okay.
cutting this down. But I ended up having commerce as my field, and then I did my bachelor's, and today I'm a photographer.
Wow. Look at that journey.
Yes.
You did your bachelor's in business, you worked in a school as a teacher for a little bit, and now you're doing what you're passionate about. When did you know that you were going to become a photographer eventually?
So this started during COVID, where I thought to myself, like, people, what they love doing is what they are, passionate about and what they are succeeding at. So this thought came to my mind, and it helped me as well. I met a lot of people. I did sponsorships. I did some work for free as well. So I can actually learn what how this work. So obviously, when you have to gain something, you have to lose something. So this is how, it got impacted on me that someone, you can become a photographer. Is that I believed in myself that I can. So this have helped me going.
Oh, wow. So that means technically you've been a photographer for less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years.
Whoa.
Yes.
So you just picked up a camera, you loved it, and you started working with it.
Yes.
And then you started to show your pictures.
Yes.
People gave you the positive feedback.
Yes.
And today, like, you're taking it up as a job, as a full-time, service that you offer to people.
Yes.
That is so fantastic. I mean, the lesson here for me is, what is in your hands, really? What do you have, especially you, woman? There is one thing that you are good at. Is it cooking? Is it taking pictures? Is it knitting clothes? Is it drawing? What is that one thing that you are good at? And once you find that one thing, please don't keep it to yourself, because you're not going to buy from yourself. Okay, you're not sure if anybody's going to buy it. But how would you know if you don't let them see it? So what Saman did here, she let them see what she could do with pictures. And people were like, I love your pictures. Okay, come take a picture of my event. And that is how it started. So what is in your hands? That thing that is in your hands is good enough for you to start. So what is one thing that you have learned in less than 2 years that you've been in photography that you can draw lessons of life from, that you can share with the audience?
So I would say, don't just look for the clients, or don't just look only for money, but sell your skills. Sell your skills, that people are going to love you for it, and they will definitely come back for it. This is what I have learned, and I've also learned that to never give up, never ever give up. Whatever you have in you, don't take the risk. I will say, take the risk. Don't lose that opportunity. So when you take down that risk, opportunities come in. Everything is written by God. So you're gonna get it. Nobody's gonna steal it from it.
Absolutely fantastic. I love it. And I love that she also brought the God factor into it, because at the end of the day, there is always a God factor. So I don't know if you're watching this and you don't believe in God, but I need you to know that there's always a God factor, because there is somebody out there who upholds the word, right? So with that which you have in your hands, the skill, she said, do not give up. She said, don't go for the money first. Show your skills. And when you show forth your skills, you will attract the money to you. And I hope that you have learned one or two things from Saman's story today. So Saman, if we want to work with you, for example, how do we do that? How do we contact you?
So I have a page on my Instagram where you can be in touch with me. It's called Saman Photography, and you can be in touch on my contact number as well, which is 056-241-5766. Or you can even contact EJ, my friend, my lovely sister, so she can recommend and share the number with you all.
Absolutely fantastic. So I'll leave those details in the description of this video, as well as of the audio of this podcast, right? So you can reach out to Saman. And if you're not yet in Dubai or in the UAE, because she's in RAK actually, but if you're not yet in the UAE, but you're coming and you need a photographer,
I'm the right person to contact. Woo-hoo.
okay. And you just mention the Afrocentrist podcast and you get a special discount. How about that? How about that?
Oh, that's a
Or
good one.
what's more, you can even say the energetic EJ. How about that?
Oh, good one. Damn.
Guys, I hope that you've had a fantastic time on the show today, because I have. And so give us feedback. What did you learn from this session? And what would you like to share with us as well? What is that thing in your hand? Maybe you're also struggling, like, okay, I think I have this, I don't know what to do with it. You can also reach out to me. I can help you with that clarity. So just click on the link in the description somewhere there. You're able to connect with me. And please, if you love what I do on the Afrocentrist podcast, please support me by buying me a cup of coffee. As low as $5, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link is also in the description. And I'll see you next time with another woman sharing her story and how she's currently impacting our world. This is the energetic EJ, and this is the Afrocentrist podcast.